Hello everybody, welcome to another review today. Got a brand new one by Caligula's Horse titled Charcoal Grace. So this is one album I'll be looking forward to. I haven't really followed this album. Normally when it comes to bands that I've listened to, I will listen to the singles that they release and then get the whole new experience of the album, but I only listened to the lead single Golem, which I originally thought was a little bit of a controversial track just because I felt the mixing on the vocals just felt a bit off, but going back into it's not too bad. It's kind of something I think you can overlook, and it honestly doesn't really take away anything from the album. Matter of fact, Golem is actually one of my favourite tracks on this record now. I do think this one is just quite a nice little fun change of pace. I love the heavier vibe, but this is what I like about the record, is the variety when it comes to the softer material to the heavier stuff. I think when you start off with the track The World Breathes With Me, I love the way it just the way it's structured. This is one of the singles, and I'm glad I didn't listen to this one because this is honestly one of the best tracks I've ever heard from Caligula's Horse. I just love the way the guitars work on this one. I think the chorus is just fascinating, and just the drive to the second half of the song, just the ideas that just go straight into the next track, Golem, is fantastic. For a 10-minute exact track, I was kind of thinking, they've reached 10 minutes exactly. Some of it feel forced, but bands sometimes have more ideas, but they just want to keep it concrete and clean. And Caligula's Horse only keeps up to 10 minutes. This isn't even the longest song on the album, mind you. But I think for an intro, it does a really good job going into that. And I do really like Golem as well. This was, like The World Breathes With Me, it was a single. Golem is a bit more of an accessible single, and I think it's also pretty catchy. Again, it's 2 for 2 with just some really fun structure and just some really guitars. Then you're introduced to the Charcoal Grace 4 tracks, which is Pray, A World Without, Vigil, and Give Me Hell, which I really think these are fantastic. They're not the highlight, however, of the record, but I do think Pray and A World Without are great, and I love what they do. I love the way they're structured. Vigil is awesome, just in the term to give you a very short but sweet, slower track, and I love the vibe on it. It's pretty good. And yeah, towards the end you're just greeted with some of the best tracks again. I really like the Storm Chaser, which I think is also a great choice for a single, and I love the energy. And then Mute is the final way to end the album, and I think Mute is fantastic. Mute is 12 minutes long, but the energy just rushes through, and I love the way that this album plays into formulas of either you've got progressive rock elements or progressive metal. You get a little bit of progressive rock in tracks like A World Without, which has more of the progressive rock guitars, but then you get the heavier aesthetic on some of the other tracks like the Storm Chaser, or even the first few tracks I mentioned, and even Mute has a lot of that heavy energy towards the end. And I just love the way that this album has a more darker aesthetic as well. It's a really fun record, and I don't think there's really anything that drags it down. The entirety of this album is just fun, and it honestly pretty much delivers what I would say easily is my album of the year at the moment. It probably could get overtaken, but compared to everything else we've had this month, and there's been quite a bit of stuff, nothing has really hit as much as Caligula Horse's new record. And I'm going to be honest, this probably might be their best album yet. I love how zany, just love how expansive the ideas are. It's just opening a whole new world, and even has some of the most contagious riffs I've heard from the band. It's a really fun album, and I definitely recommend this one. I think this one is a kick-ass record, and I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. There's just a few things I kind of wish for. I feel like tracks like Sales drags the album down a little bit, but again, I still enjoy it. I think the softer elements just are some of the weakest on this record, but I also enjoy what they bring as well. I think it's a really diverse, fun, varied album. One of Caligula's Horse best albums yet. So thank you so much for watching, and see you guys in the next video.